Today we're going to talk about IPSRT with a specific emphasis on the social rhythm therapy leg of it. A basic overview is that this was invented in the 1990s by Dr. Ellen Frank. She found that once she got her patients stabilized, if they could follow through with certain routines and rhythms, they were much less likely to have mood relapses and had improved outcomes. Lately, this has been popularized by other people, such as Dr. Holly Swartz, I think, has a workbook out, which I've read. And so the core philosophy of social rhythm therapy involves time givers. That's someone everyone has biological clocks. They have a master clock in a part of the brain called the SCN, which has its own subclocks. And most of your organs actually have clocks too. They're keeping time. And in someone with manic depression, you have a very fragile or broken clock, which is set off its routine easily. Someone else who's normal may be able to handle adversity without much difficulty. But for someone with bipolar, even a small event can set off a cascading mood storm that negatively impacts their quality of life. Now, I was very skeptical of this at first because it's frustrating when you're bipolar. It's like, well, just be normal or just don't be depressed. It sounds a lot like that. Well, I'm already unstable. I can't maintain a routine. I think the first thing to remember is this is not for people who are extremely unstable. This is for people who have some type of stability that's already being reinforced by medication or supplements or some other form of diet or therapy. And for me personally, it was mostly diet followed by supplements. So let's get into the major pillar of social rhythm therapy. So there are 5 big time givers which help set their circadian rhythm according to SRT. There is your wake time. There is the first contact, where you talk to someone, whether it be text or ideally in person for the first time every day. The third is where you start work or activity. The fourth is dinner time. And the fifth is your sleep time. And I would break these right down the middle between 3 and 4, because one is more of an evening, the dinner and sleep, and the other is more of a wake up, right? So, I mean, if you can get your dinner time right, you can probably get the sleep time right. If you don't have a consistent wake time, then you're not going to have a consistent first contact time. So how did I approach this? Well, the first thing I looked at was my routine. I'm a very big fan of wearables. I definitely think it's worth it to get an activity watch because it provides you with clear and objective data. And so I started looking for patterns in the data. So this is the past 3 months. If you look at the left third here, do you notice any patterns? I notice a very clear pattern. This is how many steps I take during each hour of the day on average during my waking hours. I notice that I am usually always awake, probably 85% of the time, from about 12 to 7 p.m. So what's the first SRT I could probably set between 12 and 7? Probably a dinner time. And so if you have that data, you can kind of look and you can see, and this is my sleep time of when I'm sleeping. So the red should be when I'm sleeping. If this is dark red, that's good. On the top and the bottom, in the middle here should be when I'm awake. So there shouldn't be any brown bars in the middle. You can see the third here, before I established a routine sleep schedule. There were a lot of sleeps during the day, and this doesn't even include the naps. But you notice there's a lot of white space in between here. So I'm usually awake between that 12 to 7 o'clock window. And so when I did my diet plan, I set my dinner at 6 p.m. because I knew I would consistently be awake during that time period. And just to show you some of my Garmin data, this is when I started my new diet, the 13th. My moods were all over, my times were all over the place. 1 a.m. bedtime, 9:20 a.m. wake time, a lot of variance. And that doesn't include naps, which the watch doesn't record. So here's the next month. You can see where I finalized my diet plan. I was starting to set that first SRT right around March 25th. And you can see my wake times are all over the place, but my sleep times are very consistent. So I just started with that one SRT, and then I realized, wait, I'm going to bed at 10 p.m. every night, but I'm on average waking up at 6:30 a.m. I'm just not sleeping as much some days, and I'm sleeping a lot more some other days, but it's all evening out. And here's last month's data. The past 30 days, I have a consistent sleep time and wake time. And it takes about 30 days to fully establish. It takes about 30 days to fully establish a social rhythm. So I'm about 60 days on the bedtime, about 30 days on the wake time, about 60 days on the consistent meal times, except for the breakfast. And I still have a few more SRTs to work on. I mean, right now I'm on day 4 of start work, which is at 8 a.m. And I still have to set the first social contact. So there are usually actually 7 metrics because you can fill in 2 of your own, which is usually my snack times for me. So that means I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I already have 5 of 7 deeply entrenched, and I'm working on the 6th. And the 7th is still to be determined. But the great thing about social rhythm therapy is once you start implementing these social rhythms, they kind of self-reinforce themselves, and they just create more stability and balance. So the more you're able to establish, the easier it gets to maintain them.